Today's episode is brought to you by my new book, Fuck Whales, Petty Essays from a Brilliant Mind. Available now at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or anywhere books are sold. Welcome to the best debate in the universe, every debate in the universe, from the Illuminati to stale biscotti. With over 3 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the Deputy Cadet Moderator, Ron Babcock. Hey. And as always, the Sultan of Swag, Mikey Bolts.
Hey, Maddox.
Audio Engineer. Welcome back to the show. Guys, huge show this week. We've got an excellent debate today. How long should you date someone who's hot but crazy? But before we get to that, so Ron, first, welcome to the show. Ron has been on multiple times in the past.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, Deputy Cadet Moderator.
Yeah, no, excited to be back.
Welcome back. And our guests, we've got Dreadmere and therapist Kelli. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
man. Just a room full of delightful people, fan favorites, a lot of great guests. Kelli, last time you were on, we had an amazing topic. It was dating turn-offs and turn-ons.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you hear the results afterwards?
No.
Yeah, I believe I won everything. And yeah, that's, no need to look it up. No need to look it up. So we should get to the debate, though. That's the new format of the show. We get right into the debate.
Okay.
If you're a first-time listener to the show, we get to the debate first, and then at the tail end of the show, we do voicemail, quick news headlines, and some kind of wrap-up. We don't know. It's not going to be a Rucker wrap-up.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. But on to the debate this week. How long should you date someone who's hot but crazy? First, I want to hear everyone's buzzers. Here's mine. Dreadmere. Wrong! And therapist Kelli. And Ron Babcock. There it is. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate, that means somebody is chiming in. They want to point out a correction, a logical fallacy, or they just want to interject. But we are going to get onto the debate. Therapist Kelli, now this was your suggestion for...
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, if you didn't hear Therapist Kelli on the first time, she has a show with Dr. Deborah and Therapist Kelli on LA Talk Radio. You should definitely check it out. It's amazing. I was a guest on your show.
Yes.
And you sent me this amazing list of topics the first time you were on. I think over 40 topics.
Damn.
And I would say like 95% of them are fantastic, perfect for the show. Other ones are I think, could be good for another debate show, but most of the topics were just right out of the park. And this was one of them. So how long should you date someone who's hot but crazy?
Am I starting this?
Yeah.
Gosh. All right. My thought is, okay, so the first time, obviously you don't know. So you definitely need a first date. And then if you get kind of the red flags, you still kind of want to make absolute sure. So I say 2 dates max. If you recognize crazy, then that's it. You run.
2 dates?
2 dates.
Oh, man, no, I pushed this up to at least a year.
No, what?
Yeah, no, it went to the point, because I'm full of hope.
Oh, no.
Where I have dated a woman, and then we lived together for about 3 weeks. Yeah, it's worth the juice is worth the squeeze.
Oh my God.
No way, man.
Well, I guess the question is, what is the hot crazy ratio? Like, is your hot crazy ratio like, if she's 85% hot, I'll deal with 15% crazy?
2 dates sounds like she's insane. Like, she's out of her mind. If I can't stand her after 2 dates,
well, I guess it depends on how sustainable it is. Like, what kind of crazy are we talking about? Are we talking like batshit, I'll burn your duvet cover when you're not around crazy?
Let's go that way. Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. Now, everybody, I want to make sure we are all familiar with the hot crazy matrix. Are we all familiar with that?
I think I need a refresher.
Yeah, okay, here's a refresher for anyone who doesn't know at home and anyone who's not familiar with it. A guy on YouTube a long time ago created this matrix called the hot crazy matrix. He made it for women, for ladies, but it could apply to guys too, I think. So on the bottom of the scale, it's 4 to 10 on crazy. And he says the graph starts at 4 because you won't find anyone less than a 4 for crazy. So first of all, you have between 1 and 5 on the hotness scale. Those are your average people, right? And if you find anyone who's 1 to 5 on the hotness scale, but also below 6 on the crazy scale, those are just like your average people. But beyond that is the danger zone.
Yeah.
So they are getting into the 7, 8, 9, 10 in crazy.
But isn't the danger zone where all your best stories comes from?
Well,
nobody wants to be like, oh yeah, you guys want to hear about my loving relationship where we're both equally vulnerable and accepting of each other?
True.
Sometimes that's scarier than an actual crazy girlfriend or relationship. It's like, I'm so in this right now.
Yeah. I have a story. I have a story about a crazy. She was in the danger zone. She was like a 7, but like a 7 on the hotness, and then like a 9 on the crazy. Maybe 10 on the crazy. Wow. But before we get to that story, at first I want to hear Dreadmere's thoughts. What do you think? How long should you date someone who's hot but crazy?
I don't know about like all the Matrix and all that. I'm kind of whatever. It just depends how fun it is. Like I'll stick with it as long as I can get more fun out of it. And the whole burning duvet cover thing that you used as an example, that's not a line for me. I'll stick with that for a little while.
Well, yeah, but you make it rain duvet covers, man. Oh. I mean, you just seem like the kind of guy who's like, you got a linen closet that's just bursting full.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what everybody says. But
yeah, I look at Dreadmere and I'm like, that guy's got a lot of sheets.
Yeah. No, yeah, always. I gotta stay prepared. But yeah, dude, there's always girls. There's always like, the thing is like, yeah, I'm hopeful too, but maybe not in the same way. I'm in the way it's like, well, we can probably like keep having fun. You know, maybe one day she'll smack the rear view window off my car, and then the next day we'll have sex in my car, and I'll be looking at that, and it's like this, you know, it's kind of hot. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So look, guys, there's a really easy solution to this. Okay, it's called masturbation. Just jerk off. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, or don't settle. Don't settle for the crazy. That's settling. I think if she's hot or he's hot but crazy,
right,
you're settling. Now, therapist Kelli, I'm curious to know, does this also apply to guys? Like, are there guys who are really hot and crazy? Because it seems like more often than not, the hot guys are meatheads.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think the girls are a little more crazy. The guys are a little more stupid.
Now, I would say the guy who is hot and crazy. No, those are your megalomaniacs.
Yes,
those are like the multi-millionaires who have everything. Don't value relationships. Don't value friendships.
Yeah.
What do you say? Why are you grinning so much, Dreadmere?
Oh yeah, no. If you're attractive and you have money, you must be out of your mind.
Not must be. You know, here. Straw man argument.
No, I think that I kind of cut from the cloth of the hot and delusional, which is I just believe that I am the most attractive man in the world. But
we have that in common.
Yeah. And I find that it's really good to go through with, if you could go through your life with baseless confidence, you'd be surprised how far it can carry you.
I agree
absolutely.
With that.
Yeah. That you know, I don't know if you're making a joke or you're actually referring to something.
I'm not sure either.
Okay, so I wrote about this in my book about jerks and how jerks get shit done. And more often than not, people who are assholes become managers, and they become in positions of power and management, and they are incompetent. And the reason they become that way is only because they're arrogant and full of themselves.
I wish I could be like that, but really, like, in reality, I'm definitely cut from the cloth of, like, the guy who's like, hey, do you want to talk forever? Like, I'll never make a move, because I'll be like, well, what if she won't like it? Like, I've always been a little bit of a weenie with that.
Yeah.
But then, you know what? But then I meet a girl, my girlfriend, who's not crazy and who's very attractive, and I feel like it's just, I also think it's like we're all crazy. There's no one out there who's just saying we're all crazy. It's just all about finding the kind of crazy that you can deal with. Like what's your thing, you know, and then you find someone who can be like, all right, I can handle that.
Everyone's got some bullshit. Everyone's annoying in some way.
Everyone's got some baggage that they're carrying. Wow. You bring it to a relationship like, this is part of me is broken. Fix it.
Except, and there is one exception, and that's me. Yeah. Perfect. I would say I'm the least annoying person I know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I was just telling my friends last night how I'm jealous of them. I wish I could be them so I could hang out with me.
Sorry, finger slipped.
Oh, okay, that was an accident. Okay, we'll edit that out. Mikey, let's edit that one out.
Yeah, it's gone.
But anyway, and what about you, Mikey? How long should you date someone hot?
Yeah, Mikey, I feel like you're constantly crushing ladies.
Ooh, am I, Ron?
Smashing tits and making hits.
Okay.
Never do that.
Making hits. So, being in between Ron and Kelli right now, therapist Kelli, you said 2 dates. Ron said 2 years. I was thinking 2 months. Right off the bat.
2 months.
2 months right off the bat.
Wow.
That's what I can
This
deal
is so
with.
much longer.
Because I need
bonkers.
Yeah, if I can stand something for 2 months, and that's the longest if it's annoying.
Guys,
I think it goes to like what Dreadmere was saying, like how fun is it? You know? And like how
But let's say it's not fun. Let's say she's just gorgeous but crazy. Like,
so the sex is
good.
Oh,
but
so
Then
But she's-
2 years.
yeah. I mean, then that's like so it is fun.
well, let's say the sex is fun. but
Okay,
that's
so let's
it.
say this is the sex
all we
like
need
the
to
kind
say.
of mind blowing sex that like you're like afterwards you feel like your mind is you feel like you did yoga for an hour.
Sure, we'll go that way.
So that sex is good and batshit crazy.
Yes.
And then cause this is interesting because I mean, how long does the sex really last? You know, like 20, 30
Seconds.
6 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, we'll have our days where we're not batting 1,000. So if the sex is like, if the sex is say a half hour of the evening, but then you got to hang out for like
Yes.
6 hours.
That's a
Yeah.
great.
You got to go to a public place
Yeah.
where she's
Yes.
going to like really make a scene in an Olive Garden.
yes.
Yeah,
I
guys,
don't know.
it's the 95-5 ratio. Okay, the 95% of your time in the relationship is not having sex,
Right.
and then the 5% is, unless you have one of those like marathon Saturdays where you guys both just fuck off, and then you're just home all day. I don't know, reveling in sin. Let's just say that.
When you're in a long-term relationship, that just dovetails into like binge watching something
Right.
on Netflix.
yeah,
And you know, that's kind of replaces that.
yeah. Well, so again, but I would say in general, in a relationship, it's 95-5. I haven't given my answer.
Oh,
by the way.
yeah.
My answer is 0. 0 amount of time. It's not worth it. No
Wow.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah,
because-
but how do you know? Do you just know immediately? You meet her?
I know there's a couple of red flags.
Okay.
Okay, I once dated a girl, and
You have the weirdest red flags. I've heard you talk about this. It's these weird like markers that you make huge decisions on. So
Oh,
please,
yeah.
Yeah,
continue.
enlighten us.
yeah. Well, first of all, there is the classic, there's the standard, the well-known crazy eyes. Okay, and I can tell there's the crazy eyes. Who's that lady from the '80s who made all the Trapper Keepers? The fluorescent ones, the you know who I'm talking about?
No idea.
He wasn't even bored yet.
Dreadmere.
Dreadmere, what year were you born?
94.
You gotta get the fuck out, man.
Oh shit! I'm in the wrong studio.
I was a freshman in high school.
Oh my god.
Jesus age.
Is this a good example to bring in if none of us know what that? What you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Anyway, the lady,
Yeah, no, get back to how your
Yeah.
Trapper Keeper goes into your
crazy
marker for who's crazy.
Right. So there's this lady from the '80s who made all those fluorescent Trapper Keepers, and
Allegedly.
Right.
she
Allegedly,
made
there was
them.
this lady. Okay.
Right.
The ones with the unicorns and the rainbows shit, you know, the fluorescent
Are
pink, all that.
you talking about Mattel?
No, it's not Mattel. it's
They
a
make
lady.
stuff. Okay.
No, I forget
Oh,
her
so
name.
there's this magical lady who lives in a
Yeah.
tree who makes
Right.
Trapper Keepers.
She makes Trapper Keepers. Callers call in. And oh, man. We're going to have voicemails just flooded next week.
Yeah.
But anyway, she has crazy eyes. You look
Okay.
up a picture of this lady, and you can tell right from the get-go. She has
Really?
oh, yeah. She has the crazy eyes. And that's a red flag. The other red flag is I once dated a girl who later on into the relationship, like a year into the relationship, sent me a text like out of the blue. She's like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that you know, I've always loved you." And I'm like, okay. And you know, nothing there yet. And she's like,
Cool.
"Just
So,
wanna-"
do we need anything from Trader Joe's? Or?
yeah.
I thought the point of this was you telling us how you know immediately.
Yeah,
this is a
exactly.
year into the
Yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
Okay. All right, that's a good point, Dreadmere. All right, fair
Yes.
enough. Fair enough. That's
Yes.
not an immediate one.
I swear, after a year, I could totally see
Yeah.
the signs.
Well, here's another one. Cats. The number of cats.
Oh,
More
crazy
than
cat lady.
two. More than two is like you're on the verge. Tattoos. Too many tattoos. Too much body modification.
And if the closer the tattoos are to your face,
yes.
you know, like
Yes.
down by the ankle, nothing to worry about. Like thigh tattoo, that's a choice. But then once it gets up to the neck region,
Okay.
man,
So
you got, you know.
Interesting.
Stereotypes. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Stereotypes.
Right.
Dreadmere. You know what?
Is that what we're going on?
People who have large conspicuous tattoos hate it when you ask them about their large conspicuous tattoos. Why? It's there for you did that as a statement. You want people to ask you about it. You want people to admire your art that you want on your body permanently. But the second people get curious about it,
I'm with you on
Right.
this, man.
I totally agree.
I
too.
hate this when it's like, so you get a tattoo on your finger, and then I'm the dick for being like, hey, what's that about?
Yeah, exactly.
Stop asking me about my tattoo.
yeah. Oh, you get tired of that shit? Try living with an ethnicity. Try living with some of that shit. Oh, where are you from?
Yeah, what is
Utah, shithead.
What is your ethnicity? Like generally ethnic?
Generally ethnic.
Okay. How does this have
yeah.
anything to
Gee.
do with being with the
Oh,
crazy
okay, the
person for a
crazy.
long time?
So,
Yeah.
but back to tattoos.
Yeah.
Now, with tattoos, I'm a huge hypocrite.
Okay. Yeah, you're
I
covered in
recently, I recently got into Suicide Girls, and I know that was a thing like in the early 2000s.
when
and
I was in
like,
high school. Yeah.
yeah, right. And I'm not into it anymore. But then there's this like model I follow on Instagram named Rie, Riae something. She's Italian. She has like just tattoos for days. And then she has like a split tongue, which is freaky.
Hot.
Oh
you know what I'm talking
God.
about? Yeah, you're into it, Dreadmere.
I'm into all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your type? Do you prefer body mods like that?
Actually, I think my type is therapist Kelly over here.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say that. No, because okay, I don't know what this says about me, but like my last girlfriends I've had, last one was 32, one before that was 27, the other ones were also 27. So yeah, I mean, as far as like the whole crazy thing, so a lot of people have told me it has to do with like the age. It's like, oh, they're like ramping up. They're like, oh, they're about to not have kids anymore, so they're kind of like trying to hold on to you or make a decision or whatever. So yeah, the older girls I've been with have been a little bit more on the crazy side, but again, it depends on how much fun you're having. So I don't know.
How long were you with these ladies?
It's been like 6 or 7 months for all of them.
So that's your expiration.
Now, for those of you who are listening, you didn't see this. If you're watching on YouTube and you zoom in, you might have caught that twitch that Dreadmere's eye made when he said 6 or 7 months. Your eye twitched a little bit.
What does that say about me? Do you know? I'm asking the therapist.
What about the twitching?
Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What do I dream about?
It means you're lying about the bed, Dreadmere.
Oh,
300 dread count.
I mean, yeah, it's been about 6 or 7 months. I don't know. It depends on what you define as ends, because with a crazy relationship, there's like multiple endings. Usually, they're like, "Oh, fuck this, we're done," and then later that night they'll send you a nude, and it's like, "Okay, we're not done," and then you go back, and then it's like another couple weeks, and then whatever. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to say where it ends exactly.
It's a bribe.
I want to start sending nudes, but I've never sent a nude before. But I just want to
You've
start.
never?
No, well, I mean once. But well, I think it'd be cool if you start sending nudes on canvas, like that actually painted. And then like mail them to their house.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine like a 6'9" oil painting. And just be like, that's my dick.
It's the scale.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like way too much detail. Not even a full mass, just like a semi.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like
God.
I call it before, and then I'm like, the next one is in the mail. It's called after. You'll see it. And it's like a
Return to sender.
super long horizontal.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not to open that package.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything long coming from Ron.
Exactly.
I just think it's like,
Don't open
I think
it.
people could take their dick game to the next level. Like if you're gonna do it, sculpt something.
Yeah. No, I agree. Dick pics are thoughtless. Like be more thoughtful with your.
How long?
Be more creative, Maddox.
Yeah.
How long do you think cameras were around before the first dick pic was taken? Like 10 minutes?
Gotta be like next to.
Do you think that's why it was invented?
I don't know if that's why it was invented. I think like most inventions, most great inventions, it was invented by accident. Someone came along and was like, oh, this is a fun fucking thing, and then let's put our dicks on it. Like some of the early porn. Have you seen early pornography? Like from the, the silent era? Those chicks are hot.
Just like wind it up to watch it.
Oh, yeah. You got to crank while you crank.
You guys want to go down to the Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Let's head down to the wank crank.
You had like flip books. They have those too, like the old timey flip books. Yeah.
Well, I remember as a kid in grade school, we used to have those pens where if you held them upside down, the girl's clothes would come off.
Yes.
I'm picturing like those red things that you hold up to your eyes and you click it to see. But
Like the Viewmaster?
Yeah, Viewmaster, but it's like all porn, right? Is that? I was born in '94, so you
they
guys
have to have those, right?
help me out.
Porn
I'm sure.
Viewmasters. Yeah.
Well, don't they have like the virtual reality with porns now too?
Yes.
I think that's driving the virtual reality market right now. Is like porn.
Yeah.
Is like one of the reasons why video players are so good is just because like porn was the they're the ones who were leading that of just the bringing you the content. They're the ones who made the technology. We're like porn and sports. That's what drives everything.
That's true, especially cable in cable right now. But back to the hot and crazy.
Yes.
Because
drone porn. That's gonna be so fun when that happens.
Yeah.
Drone porn.
Just all drones everywhere.
It's coming. Everything's coming. There's gonna
Good
be
one.
people are gonna. Yeah.
No, yeah, man. Okay, yeah. Back to the debate. Like, as far as like crazy, like I've noticed that girls who are a little bit on the crazier side will be more willing to like rope you in that way, like sexually. They kind of know that's like a lot of what they have to offer.
They'll seduce you.
Yeah.
Here's the dark side to that though. I mean, it's fun. I've been with lots of crazy girls who are dynamite in the sack, but the dark side of that is manipulation, and that's all it is. It's they're using their body to rope you back in and manipulate you. And that's when it becomes.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing, Trey.
I'm all right with it.
No way.
Okay, I think really you also have to define when a person is a little too much for you, and I think it comes down to can I invite this person home for dinner with my family?
That's a
good one,
great.
yes.
That's
And
a
if
great.
you're like,
Uh-huh.
but I also know that could be difficult for some people who might have their own family. You know, the family might be kind of crazy too, so maybe they'll fit right in. But I know there's some girls that I've dated where I wouldn't have felt comfortable introducing them to like my brother and sisters and mom and dad.
Yeah,
you know?
I've made that mistake where I bring a girl home that I'm totally just into like the sex and everything with, but like we're together every day, and so I'm like, no, she's great, everything, but not really. But then I bring her home or something, and like they can all tell like they just know that this is someone that you just are having sex with, and like she's not really that interesting. She's completely different from you. She's, aloof or whatever.
Then later on, you ask him like, "Hey, what'd you think?" She was
okay.
She was nice.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's ever a pause before the adjective,
Yes.
you know it's bad.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
So
My one of my tells, an immediate tell, is if my mom gets along with the girl. I know that. Yeah. I'm like, there's something that these two connect with. Oh, and there's another one.
Was that a good tell or a bad
No,
tell?
bad tell.
One, bad
Oh,
tell.
that's a bad one.
Yeah, if my mom like clicks with him, like fucking bail.
why is that
Pulling
a
the-
why is
pulling
that a
the
bad
eject on
tell?
Just in his particular
In my
case.
particular
Oh.
situation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's one. And then I have another tell. Where I have friends who have crazy girlfriends, and there's like one or two I have in mind in particular, where I will introduce the girl I'm dating to them, and if they click, that's also I gotta pull the fucking parachute on
The
them.
thing is like sometimes you meet people like Maddox who's telling you like, do this, don't do that. And I remember my friend who was like this, like, don't date a crazy girl, man. It's not worth it. But that's like also a lesson that I want to learn.
Yeah, you gotta.
You know, like I kind of want to go through that because from what I hear, everyone is like, yeah, it's crazy, but don't do it. It's like, no, I want to do that for a little bit. Like, let me be the one to decide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, but don't you want to learn from somebody else's mistakes a little bit?
Yeah, maybe if they get bad auto insurance, I'll take that lesson.
But not this
But not
one.
like, oh, this girl's like the best in the sack I've ever had, but she's crazy. Don't date her. I'll be like, oh, I kind of want to learn that lesson on my own.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm at the point where I'm starting to listen to people where they're like, hey man, stay away. That one's crazy. So I was gonna tell you guys the story about a crazy hot girl. So this girl is like a 7, right?
Okay.
Really hot. She like kind of hit me up. She was a little bit aggressive in hitting me up to go on a date. And we did, and it was a pretty good date. I think we went down to the beach. It was very cliche. We went on a long watch on the beach.
So total cheap free date?
It was a cheap. I bought her pho afterwards.
Oh, okay. Cool. We went to a public park meeting. I don't want to spend $40.
She came over late at night. It was like 8:30
Okay.
something. We went on a long walk on the beach, and it was very cliche. It was like whatever. And then
Did you have like a white shirt that was buttoned down halfway? So you were like floating on the beach with her?
no, I was just wearing my normal shit, Ron.
What, like cargo shorts and flip flops?
Pretty much. It was a beach. I wasn't wearing cargo.
Hi,
shorts.
this
Come
is
on.
me phoning it in. Let's go.
Well, we went to the beach. All right.
Yeah,
All
get
right,
to the crazy.
Yeah, we get back to my place, and I wanted to watch DuckTales because
Yeah, because you
that's
know
a
how to
great-
turn them on.
Yeah, that's a great first date idea.
it came up. DuckTales came up, and then we were like, watching DuckTales. I'm like, look, let's just take this to my bedroom.
Let's
She's
just
like,
after
Let's take
DuckTales.
this to my bedroom and watch Tailspin.
Yeah.
Turn into fucktails.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Mikey's crushing it today. So we go to the bed. I think it was
Yeah.
her idea. She's like, let's just watch this in bed. I'm like, okay, I got a laptop. Great. Let's do it. Because
Okay.
I have a no TV policy in bedrooms. Because it's like, you'll never fucking get out of bed. So we take my laptop, we get in the bed. And then we're kind of necking, like, for a while. Like, after a while, neither one of us is watching DuckTales. Necking. And
in
it's
the
very-
50s.
The
Okay.
weirdest sounding.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the fuck? is that?
Necking
Necking?
is like a term from like the 60s or 50s. It's,
Yeah.
it's really just like making
And
out.
I chose that word very specifically because we weren't making out.
Oh.
That's why I said necking. So we were necking.
You're just rubbing your
Wait.
neck on her neck.
Pretty much. Like, she was like
Oh.
nuzzling her face like in my neck, and every time I kind of went in for a kiss, like she would kind of like turn her head, she's like, ah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so this went on for a while, and then we're just like, we get into like
How many episodes of Fucktails did you watch?
1.5. Like,
Okay.
it had to have been. So we're getting to the point, and you can hear like DuckTales, the DVD menu in the background. So we get to the point.
Wait, is DuckTales a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's
I'm
great.
like hearing the music.
Yeah.
DuckTales. Ooh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good cartoon.
Okay.
It is
Anyway,
good.
So
just wanna
we
make
got,
sure.
it's setting the tone, setting the mood, and so we're
Nothing
like,
like that for foreplay. Go on.
yeah. Well, so this goes on for like an hour, and then finally we get to the point where it's like heavy petting, like we're like, but still,
Maddox is just petting her head, calling her a good girl. Such a good girl.
Oh, these pets were heavy. So she took her shirt off, no bra. I mean, she was wearing a bra, but she took her shirt off. And by the way, still no kiss. This is an hour into like heavy petting and necking, but no kiss. And I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Sure, this wasn't a prostitute.
I was just thinking the same thing.
She was
Was
not
she
a
horse?
right?
Was it a duck?
No, she was not a duck. She was a hot babe. I told you, she's 7.
Totally hot babe.
Yeah. So we're going for a while, and I tried to take her bra off, and she was like, no. I'm
Wait,
like,
I thought her bra was off.
No, her bra was on, but her shirt was off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Okay.
just bra, but no shirt.
Okay.
And then I think I went to like unbutton her pants or something. She's like, no. I'm like, okay. So after like 2 hours of this, I'm like, I don't care. I'm tired. It's like 3 a.m.
We've been watching DuckTales for hours.
Well, so then I just like turn to my side and I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm like, I don't care what she does. I'm going to sleep. This is my decision. I'm tired. And so I go to sleep and I wake up with her straddling me, and I open my eyes and she takes her hand like a talon, like a claw, and she pokes me in the chest and she goes, I'm gonna rip your heart out. And I'm like, what?
Okay, that's definitely more crazy than what I've experienced. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Oh
crazy.
yeah. Oh, this is the start of it.
So she's trying to Ali Kaba your heart.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, Ali Kaba, exactly. So she goes, I'm gonna rip your, and it's amazing you got that, Ron, because as soon as she did that to me, I said, excuse me? She goes, I'm gonna rip your heart out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, Indiana Jones. I'm like, yeah, no, okay, I've seen the movie. Why are you doing this? And she goes, oh, I just thought it'd be fun. And she goes, oh, I'm like, okay, well, I'm tired. So I go, she like gets off of me. Clearly that didn't work. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. So I go back to sleep. I turn to my side, so my back is facing her. Then I feel her face come up to my ear, and she whispers, I'm gonna suck your soul. I'm like, oh my God, what? Now I'm freaked out. I'm like, what are you doing now? She goes, Evil Dead. And I'm like, I've seen these movies. I just don't get why you're doing this. And so then I thought maybe she actually did want to have sex, and she's just awkward. And
Yeah.
So I went back to like trying to, heavy petting, whatever. Right. And every time, wouldn't take off the bra, no kiss.
Because you needed to go up to her and whisper in her ear like 1.21 gigawatts. You had to communicate with her language.
Yeah,
this is your fault.
Oh, it's my fault, is it? Wrong. So this went on all night, and then finally in the morning, she wakes up. We both wake up, and she's like, "Hey, so good news. I think I'm going to call into work sick." And I'm like, "No, this is not. This is. I mean,
we're done here."
She's like, "Do you have anything to do today?" I'm like, "Yep, lots of plans, a lot of shit to do." She goes, "Oh, okay. Well, I just thought I could call in to work sick." I'm like, "This is in what fucking universe is this a good date?" So she gets up. I walk her to the door, and she's like, "I had a lot of fun. We should do this again." I'm like, "Well, yeah, like maybe." And then just as I'm about to close the door, she reaches in and gives me the tiniest peck on the lips, and I'm like, "Fuck you! This was the shittiest, weirdest, hot crazy, right?"
So you brought a girl home, you watched DuckTales, you didn't bang her, then she kisses you and you say, "Fuck you, get out of my house." And this is your example of why all women are crazy, or we shouldn't be.
She spent all night trying to decide whether or not to let you in emotionally, and she finally does.
Right, exactly.
And you're like, pass. Close the door.
I didn't. It wasn't like that. But I was super confused. And by the way, does that crazy shit not bother anyone else?
Again, that's your fault. I stand by that 100%. You had every opportunity to make it happen, and you were just too busy. You were too engulfed in whatever was happening in DuckTales.
Sorry, I was so attached to my heart.
Wait, I just want to know, did you say, like, hey, why do you don't want to kiss me? Or, like, did you just... Yeah. I just feel like you need to address the elephant in the room.
I think therapist Kelli has a good point. Like, sometimes be like, hey, I'm kind of getting some mixed signals
here.
Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of, like, calling stuff out.
Absolutely.
I have before, like, this was early on in my dating career, my dating. So I wasn't as open. But here's my thing. I don't want to have sex with anyone who doesn't want to have sex with me. So if they're not enthusiastically wanting to have sex with me, I'm not going to press it. I don't care.
But she's like taking off her shirt. It's completely mixed messages.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
But then escalating from beyond that, like we're already like touching each other and everything, but escalating beyond that, she didn't want to. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to press this issue. I don't give a shit. I don't need to. I don't care.
Right.
This isn't a like, that's a desperate move.
Well,
like,
the other thing is some women don't want to go too far because they don't want to seem too slutty. Like, do you think maybe she was like, oh, I really like this guy. I want to make him think I'm a good girl.
Could have been. And I've been with girls like that too.
Yeah.
I was with a girl once who we were making out on like my couch, and I was like, hey, you want to go to the bedroom? She goes, I don't know. I'm like, well, you know,
what were you guys watching? Gummy Bears? It's a good one. We're like, hey, I want to give you some of my gummy bear juice.
Yeah, like gummy bears. How about a gummy worm?
I don't know how you're not getting laid, honestly.
No, this girl we did hook up. We did eventually hook up. This other girl, but it may have been some of that therapist Kelly, but because there have been girls I've been with where you have to. For me, when the girl tells me that she's afraid I might judge her for having sex on the first date, I say, listen, I would like to. It would be fun. I'm attracted to you. That's great. But no judgments either way. If you don't want to, if you don't feel comfortable, no worries.
I'm with you. Like the idea of having sex with someone who's like not into having. I've never got that because it's like it's just like it's the worst. Like
right.
I can't imagine like having like a begrudgingly given blowjob.
Right.
Is fun for anyone.
Yeah. I don't want it. If you're not into it, I don't want it.
So wait, so what's the crazy part about this? That she was sending mixed signals and that she was making movie references while like not having sex? Is that like what made her like on the crazy scale?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Wouldn't you say?
I agree. I agree.
Thank you.
I think
a little bit
maybe
weird.
it's like the shirt off. That would be me a signal that we should probably kiss if you're taking your shot in my bed. Like, I don't think reading that. But I could see maybe she was, you don't know. Maybe she was hurt before by someone.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's just strange to me that she's going to do other things but not kiss. And like, I don't know. Something's just not like adding up here.
Right. Something's not adding up. Here's a boner. All right. Great. Thanks for it. What are you going to do with it? Nothing? All right. Well, I'm going to sleep now. See ya. I wish I didn't show you my best DuckTales episode.
Did you have to sleep on your side because of your massive boner?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And knock things off the shelf.
Is that way you have your bedside table? You just kind of put it on that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to rest on the bed.
Yeah, I've seen your bed set up. It's actually unsettling.
Yeah. The bedside table is at the exact height of my mattress.
Yeah.
God. But how long so that was it? Just the one date?
Just the one date. And then she hit me up a couple other times.
Okay.
Wanted to go out again. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Okay, so you are good about, she's crazy, I'm done.
Now that we've been talking about this for longer, I realize that I didn't realize most of the women I've actually dated were not crazy at all.
Not crazy?
No, and I think I've steered clear. Like, there was one girl who used to, in the comedy scene, she was like kind of dating a bunch of comics, and she was like a buddy's like girlfriend for a while, and I guess they broke up, and she kept messaging me on Facebook like time and time again, and it'd be one of those things where like I would click on the message so it would see that it would be read, but I would not respond, and then she just kept messaging, and she would just message me like, hey, we should hang out, and then like, and finally I was like, I don't think that's I was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. She was saying something like, I don't understand like why guys want to like, I asked them to hang out, but then they want to try and have sex with me. Like, it was just, everything was, and then she was like, my friend roommate, just like, her dad just died. She's crying. I really want to get out of the house. I was like, dude, what are you, like, it was just this weird, like kind of like constant level of communication.
Yeah.
And then and it was funny because you saw the whole thing reach to a conclusion where she was like, I guess you don't want to hang out with me, so I guess I'm going to stop messaging. And then like another hour, I'd be like, hey, are you sure you don't want to hang out? Like, I won't bother you anymore. And then it just kind of like, okay, I got the message. But it was like like an hour of just messages.
This was not a girl that you were sleeping with, though.
No. I had no interest because based on that alone was just like, I don't understand. Like, it just like things she was saying was just like really mean to like other people in her life. And I was like, I don't want to, this isn't worth it.
Okay, but as far as like girls that you get involved with, I mean, listen to how people talk about their exes. They never have anything good to say. It's always their fault.
That's true.
So as far as like grading people on how crazy they are, it's a little different because I I've lost some good ones. I've lost some women who I know like weren't crazy or were acting outside of their natural whatever because of the strain of the relationship. So to say that like to disregard them as crazy is a little bit irresponsible. I don't know. If I'm talking about girls that I'm not super invested in, like we're just kind of talking, it's not an official thing, then yeah, I've definitely had people who've come on too strong or whatever. But in the relationship, people can act different based on emotion.
I mean, I've definitely been like, I think everybody takes turn being the crazy person. And I also think it's a sliding scale, like there's some relationships where I've been like batshit crazy. I'm sure like women talk about me like, yeah, I dated this one guy. He was a fucking weirdo. Like, I'm sure there's people right now, they have their own podcast dedicated to talking about crazy dudes they dated.
But I feel like there's a difference when you're like really into somebody and you're in love and then you're crazy in love versus just legitimately crazy.
Well, what is crazy in love?
Like you really.
It's a movie with Ryan Gosling, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's such a great boyfriend. Stereotype. He's always
type.
He's always attacking the girl's ex-boyfriends or whatever. Anyway, but
strong silent types just mean not good at conversation.
That's the kind of guy. I wish I could date a girl with that personality. Like a strong, silent guy type. Yeah, what's that?
Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling, yeah.
That means a weightlifter.
Like, I want to date.
I think you mean a weightlifter. Is that what you're talking about?
Strong silent type.
I'm talking like a lumberjack. Like, imagine a stoic lumberjack who doesn't have a lot of words to say.
What would you watch with him? Like Rescue Rangers?
I would, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But it's not a guy, Ron.
He-Man, yeah.
He-Man? No, I would watch normal shit. Okay, so imagine the personality of a lumberjack.
Okay.
Just stoic, made of wood, a lot of grit, gets shit done.
Nothing but plaid.
Very few words. Yeah, nothing but plaad, but the hottest girl. All right?
But isn't that boring?
No, it's great.
No,
does she have a beard?
Boring.
No, she does. She's a hot girl.
You said lumberjack.
She has the personality of a lumberjack, but the body of a woman.
What are her hands like?
That's totally my
He's
accent.
talking about Rucka.
Oh, shit! Get him! This makes perfect sense!
Yeah. Pops up from under the table.
Rucka's still on the podcast.
I've been here the whole time!
Scoot over, Ron. Small chairs.
All right.
Small chairs.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but I've never really understood the whole appeal of like masculinity in women. Like the they're into guns or they have tattoos or they're like whatever. Like I don't really like that in a woman at all. I want her to be girly. I want her to be maybe authoritarian, whatever. Like I want her to be authoritative. Like
you want traditionally feminine features in the girl, right?
Yeah.
I buy that. I actually dated a girl one time who was almost like a role reversal. She was very much into sports. I would come home from being out like shopping or something, and she'd be like sitting on the couch with her legs spread, watching sports, drinking a beer. I'm like,
with her hand in her pants.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you?
I dated a girl like that once, where she like the one time she's sitting on the couch and she just like pointed at me and then she motioned for me to like put my head on her lap. She's like, lay down. and I was like, no, you lay down. So like unsettled by that.
She just commanded you to eat.
She was pretty authoritarian like that. But sometimes it's in a way it was nice because it was like a relationship where I didn't have to make any of the decisions.
The pressure was off.
Yeah. And there was something about that I was like, it's nice to just not have to like be the stereotypical one in charge, I guess.
That makes sense.
I stopped playing that game a while ago. So when it came to like dinner, where food, what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? Now I give them two choices. All right. Here's choice number one. Here's choice number two. These are both places I want to go. I dated a girl one time who would never fucking tell me anything ever. And so I would give her choices.
You sure you were dating her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like DuckTales gummy bears. I don't know.
Well, so eventually I got it out of her because I'm like, I'm big on communication. I want to like get to the bottom of it. I'm like, why aren't you telling me where you want to go eat? She goes, or sometimes I would like finally pick someplace and we'd go there and she's just kind of like picks at her food. And I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, I didn't really want to come here. I'm like, why didn't you say it? She goes, because I know you did. And I'm like, listen, tell me where you want to go because I promise you, you're not going to get your way most of the time. I like maybe like 50% of the time you'll get your way, 50% of the time I'll get my way. That's fair.
Yeah, your life is like a Ryan Gosling movie. But
yeah,
the way to get out of that is to just tell her to guess. You just say, she says, where are we going? You say, oh, guess. Whatever she says, that's where you go.
I am absolutely.
That's really good.
You know why? Because people love surprises. Like if you turn into a surprise, be like, it's a surprise. And then they'll be super like, oh, wait, where are we going? And then it's all about
surprise. Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprise, a place you weren't that into probably. But since I put effort into it and made it a surprise, you are now.
Yeah, surprises are like extra credit. Like
I think so.
anything you get from it is just like
Because it means you planned something.
yeah,
Yep.
So you've been thinking about it.
extracurricular.
My thing is, this is my weird turn off when I was like dating a bunch of girls was if they're really picky eaters.
Oh yeah, man. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that last time.
And like, or girls who are just like, yeah, I don't like red peppers. You're like, you don't like
Interesting.
red peppers? And I'm like, okay, are you allergic? Like, no, I just don't like. Or no, if they didn't like something, but they never tried it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because to me,
So
I'm
not
just like,
adventurous in eating.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that not adventurous eating
That's
thing
crazy.
always kind of
Yes, that's crazy.
Eating.
Which one? Not
Yeah.
just not liking something
Not
you never
liking
tried
something
yet?
you've never tried is
Uh-huh.
crazy. It's crazy. There's no
Okay.
That's not rational.
So
Okay.
all picky eater girls are crazy, even if
Not-
they're hot.
Not all, but I will give someone. That's another.
I think
one.
it's just for me, it's a sign that it might not be like if there's something that you tried and you don't like it, man, that's totally cool. But
Yeah.
if you've never tried something,
Right.
and you're like, I don't like it and I refuse to try it,
Mhm.
that to me is like, well, how are you going to build anything on that?
Yeah,
You know?
what else?
That's a sandy foundation. I might be reading too much into it.
Well,
but,
no, I don't know how much I would care. If it's a girl that I'm not like really into, like I don't really care what she eats or doesn't eat because I'm just having fun usually, right? But if it's
what
like
if
a
you
girl,
brought her home to your mom's place for dinner,
yeah,
and then she's like, I'm not eating any of this.
I'll be like, good, I'm not eating any of it either. let's go.
Dreadmere, you enabler.
I know, that's so funny. But wait, picky eating can come in definitely like different forms. Like some girls are like, oh, I want the dressing on the side. Is that considered picky?
No, I mean, I think everybody has their things.
Okay.
You know, like I think that's fine. You know, we all like, yeah, I get that. But like, I remember like dating one girl and I found so frustrating. This was like way back in college where she just like wouldn't try something. And she's like, well, what if I don't like it? And I'm like, well, then you know.
Yeah.
And then you know if you don't. And years later, she
Yeah.
actually called you up. She's like, hey, I tried red peppers. I love them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
Okay,
God.
but do you think that correlates into the bedroom where she's scared to try different things?
Definitely not.
Fuck you, Dreadmere.
I know.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't. Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I've been with a lot of picky eaters who are
Who are okay.
very open-minded.
That's
So-
interesting.
Well,
okay.
then the Dreadmere has spoken.
Yes,
I'm gonna
exactly.
defer to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Thank
Closed
you.
mouth, open butthole.
Ding.
Oh God.
I didn't know you were announcing your new book. So quickly.
I love it.
Closed minds, open buttholes.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
The Maddox story.
Petty stories.
A
for the
one-man
Bill
show by Maddox.
I will give this allowance. Three things. Three picky things. You can't be more picky than three things.
Okay.
Like you don't eat peppers, okay. What else don't you eat? Milk, all right, that's two. You got one more.
Oh.
And then whatever that third one is, it can't be an entire category of food. Seafood, that doesn't count.
What if they're allergic?
Do you have any opinions that don't
That's
sound
fine.
like math or like percentages? Like, do you have any opinions that aren't just based on all of these like strict numerical percentages you've planned out?
The rules of thumbs, Dreadmere, and you can quickly apply. It's a heuristic model, right? Heuristic
okay.
thinking.
What's
You
that?
Heuristic thinking.
Oh God.
I talked about this a couple episodes ago, but it's how we quickly make decisions. Like,
Right.
for example,
How do you spell that?
HEURISTIC.
Oh, I didn't really think
Heuristic.
you would know that. Okay.
Yeah. Heuristic. So it's a way of thinking. You know about this, no?
No, I don't know
There-
about this either.
So heuristic thinking is basically how we make quick decisions, quick judgments,
Okay.
and we base them on no rational facts, just based on what we kind of know. Just a quick decision. Like, should you walk down a dark alley?
Right.
Well, there's no rational reason why you shouldn't. You can't tell the future. You can't tell that you're going to get jumped or anything bad is going to happen to you. But based on what you know, you make a quick judgment. And you're like, well, dark alleys could be dangerous. Dark alleys are places where bad things can happen. So you make a heuristic decision. So that's not based on anything rational. There's no rational fear.
It's
You
like
know,
skepticism.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should use that when we're with a hot crazy chick to the side when we're out.
I think so. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's the thing: if you're putting up with crazy, what does that say about you? Right? Do you
You
need?
put things off, right? That's what it says about you.
It also says to me desperation.
Yeah.
You want to have. Look, it can be fun, and then once off, you have sex with a crazy person. But if you can't get it done after the second or third date, you got to bail. Like this is now it's on you. Now you're putting up with crazy in order to get laid, which says something about you. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yes. Oh, there we go. Therapist Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
I think my only line is like monetary. It's like if I lose a lot of like damages or whatever, like from like a relationship where a girl's like breaking my stuff or whatever, then I'm like, okay, maybe.
Have you had a
Maybe
girl
just
break
one
your
more
shit
time.
before?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
what's one of the more expensive things that got broken
iPads.
besides your heart?
Really?
Cars. Parts of cars.
So you've done
iPads and cars?
Yeah.
How many iPads and cars?
How many relationships have I had? Am I right?
Wait,
Wow,
so
man.
you're the perfect person to talk about this, though.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. I hear that all the time.
Okay, so okay, but do you see the crazy? And again, you're like, all right, well, I'll just hope that it doesn't happen again, or what?
What kind of happens is like I'm more liberal with like wanting to do things with them. Maybe sexually, maybe like go places. It's like I kind of lose a lot of my investment into the relationship. So I'm kind of like, look, like we'll break up or whatever, then we'll get back together. And it's like, well, then I kind of don't really care as much about like what she thinks of me because I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know. She's kind of out of her mind.
So when the iPad breaks, is that when you go, you know what? I think it's gone too
I'm
far.
like, this is kind of getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Better not break another one.
They know me at the Apple store. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry to hear.
Oh, it didn't work out with Susan, huh? I dated a girl once who was so fucking crazy. Like I had no idea. First of all, jealousy, extreme jealousy is always a huge red flag. So if if I come home late and they pepper me with questions, I dated a girl one time. I came home and I think I hugged someone at work, like a hug goodbye or something, and some of the perfume may have rubbed off.
Fucking slut.
Yeah. Well, I came home. She's like, I smell perfume on you. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I must have hugged someone at work. She's like, did you sleep with her? I'm like, no. I was just on my way home. Nothing like that at all. And she goes, I think you slept with her. I'm like, that's bonkers. And this went on and on. So the extreme jealousy, this girl, she was so jealous. I went on book tour one time, and at one of my signings, at one of my events, there was a music act, and this girl like played this awesome music, whatever. And then I gave her one of my books, and she gave me like one of her CDs and her sunglasses. Yeah, she had like a bunch of sunglasses she was selling, and she gave me like a free pair. And I just put it in my bag and forgot about it, and it had her name on it, the sunglasses. So years later, I'm going through my stuff, and I find it like snapped in half. And the lens is broken, it's shattered. I'm like, this is not something that would just happen in my bag. This girl I dated, she went through and she was so angry and jealous. She would go through and like snap. And then the CD was broken too. And the
Joker's
joke is
over here like, oh, poor, your sunglasses got broke.
Exactly. My eyes.
She burned my car.
Yeah. But this is like secret crazy because she didn't even tell me she did this.
Right.
I found out
That's
later.
even
Confront her
scarier.
like years later, like, hey, did you break my sunglasses?
No, I found out like years later, like years after. I'm like going through my stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Like I had no idea the depths of crazy.
See, I actually never got too deep into any relationships because I actually did have some friends who would always tell me stories about this. And I just kind of was like, I just did the cost benefit analysis where I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't necessarily want I want like one or two
So
of these
are you
stories,
going back?
and that's it.
But you said like a year.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I
so now
totally
you're
changed
changing your
my mind.
tune. Okay.
From the beginning, I kind of came in, and then I was just like, yeah, it's fun. And then at the end, I'm like, that sounds bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
So what's your new time frame?
I think, you know what? I never judge a television show based on one episode. I get really annoyed with people who like watch one episode TV, like, oh, I didn't like that show. I'm like, what? You watched the pilot. You know, there's so much stuff they got to get in there. Like, you got to give a show at least 3 or 4 episodes. Got to give it a chance.
Okay.
And I feel like the same way with people because you don't know what kind of baggage they're bringing to the relationship. So I think I would put mine at about a month.
Okay.
Generally. And I think also, but if it's on you too, if you don't say anything, like you got to say something because I think you could head a lot of stuff off of the past if you tell them, be like, listen, I know you think I had sex with this girl at work. Like I don't. I hugged her. I'm into you. Like I hope you realize that. Like you got to be really open with people because they're bringing their own thing to the relationship. So I think if after a month you feel like it's not improving or you feel like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, then, you know, maybe.
Yeah, but you guys are like talking about this like in a very reasonable way. Like as if you're just like so logical when you're with somebody. Everything makes sense. I'm going to plan everything out. Like that's not how it is. You're with somebody and you get lost in the moment. Everybody gets swept up in the moment. And that's where you're like already invested at that point. Like I'm already looking forward to the next time we hang out. I'm already like planning things out.
Listen,
and then,
we've all been there, you know, sitting with a girl watching Darkwing Duck, just lost in it. I mean, it happens. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's very passionate. And, like, I want to keep that going as long as possible until it gets to the point of, like when I'm actually, like, something shakes me where I'm like, okay, holy shit. Like, I might end up arrested. Like, she might say, like, go, I don't know. Like, that's another big thing is, like, I'm afraid if a girl's going to say something, like, that I did, or you know what I mean, like to really get back at me, like to just be like, oh, he's crazy, he broke this is my iPad, he broke it, or something like that, you know what I mean?
Like, oh, been there, Dreadmere.
Like, yeah, so that's kind of where I get scared. I'm like, I don't want any permanent damage, but like, let's hang out next week.
You like to fly pretty close to the sun, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it's warm.
Dickerous over here.
Yeah, they call me.
God. Yeah, but then I don't feel bad if somebody's breaking your iPad because you saw the signs and you chose to ignore it.
I don't feel bad either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Great. We all agree.
Yeah.
I'll say one. We got to wrap this up, but I'll say one other crazy tell. I think is somebody who puts a timetable on sex, which you guys may disagree on this, but
yes,
yeah, right.
What do you mean?
agree.
What do you mean?
I met a girl once. She literally bumped into me with her ass at a comedy club, and she turned around. We hit it off, and we're talking all night. And she's like, "Hey, you want to get out of here?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we get in a lift, and we're going back to, I think, my place or something. And we start talking about sex, and she's like, "Yeah, well, would you not go out with because she was talking to some other guy earlier. She goes, "This guy, you wouldn't believe the nerve of this guy. He said that he would not date a girl who didn't put out after 4 dates." I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. And she goes, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Like, why would you put a time if you want to have sex? You should have sex when you want to have sex, and so there shouldn't be a certain number of days you go by, whatever. You just have sex when you're ready." And she goes, "Well, I'm at the point in my life. I'm 34 years old, and I'm not gonna have sex with just anyone. I want to have sex with someone who wants a relationship. Blah blah blah." And she's putting all these constraints and stipulation, and she goes, "I don't know if we can date." I'm like, I agree, and also, why are we talking about dating? I just met you. She goes, "Well, I'm gonna get out." I'm like, okay, see ya. So I opened the door and pushed her.
Oh,
no, I didn't push her, but she did leave.
So I said, "Tuck and roll," and pushed her out. I don't know why I can't meet women.
Anyway, she was crazy.
Right.
All right, guys, that's it. Don't forget to vote on this. Madcastmedia.com. Vote on this debate. So we got anywhere from 1 month.
I think 1 month for me.
1 month. And Therapist Kelly?
I'm going to go two dates.
2 dates, Dreadmere?
As long as it's fun.
As long as it's fun.
As long as he's got a dick.
As long as I'm
Dreadmere
here.
said that with like
She has
a
a hole.
1,000-yard stare in his eyes. As long
as
it's fun.
she's bouncing on that D, apparently. And then for me, it's 0. 0. Those are the options. Vote on madcastmedia.com. And this is the point in the show where we normally have the Rucka wrap-up. We don't have that today because Rucka's not here. If anyone has a wrap-up, feel free to chime in. But Mikey, one of our fans suggested a name for a segment if you wanted to do the wrap-up.
Sure.
I can't believe we didn't come up with this, but the fan did. It was Quinn Van Buskirk suggested the Mikey's Nuts and Bolts.
I love it.
Mikey's Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
coming
interesting.
to the best debate in the universe at some point. But before we go on, we should talk about last week's debate. I have the results. Last week we debated whether or not the Illuminati exists. All right, that was the debate Rucka wanted to go out on. I pitched him a bunch of different ideas, but he really wanted that one, so we did it. And I had to defend that the Illuminati does exist. My argument was that I'm an Illuminati member.
Oh, you're such a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I even texted Rucka. I'm like, Rucka, everything I'm researching says no. I mean, even in conspiracy circles, everyone's saying no. And then we go back and forth, and he seemed like pretty set on this debate. And finally, I said, okay, I came up with a bulletproof argument that's going to make me sound like an idiot, but I went along with it. So I asked the audience, does the Illuminati exist? And with 77% of the vote, no. So then I thought,
But those other 23% are members.
Right.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. And then I asked, I thought, well, I did a pretty brilliant job of this debate. That's a pretty brilliant argument. What do you think after listening to my brilliant argument? And with 82% of the vote, no. They not only weren't persuaded, but they punished me a little.
But also, if the Illuminati does exist, that's exactly the results they would want.
Yes.
They don't want to be known.
So after I did that episode, I went and I started doing some actual research. And there is a website called Illuminati.com, whatever. And I signed up for it, the mailing list.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, and they were like, well, welcome. You're an official Illuminati member. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Our first subscriber.
Well, then I started getting a bunch of email from the Illuminati. And they're like, you should show your dedication to the cause by wearing our pendant. We offer our pendant in gold, silver, copper, very stylish. You can also pick up a t-shirt. I'm like, what the fuck? This is just an advertisement for a jewelry company. This is just like selling me a bunch of shit. Illuminati selling trinkets.
So it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
That
Yeah,
would explain all the necklaces you're wearing right now.
yeah.
Yeah. Underneath.
Yeah, always underneath. Very Armenian.
Very Armenian.
Yeah.
Necklace first, then T-shirt.
Yeah. Anyway, we should get to the voicemail. I got a ton of voicemail this week. A lot of really good stuff. Here is the first one from the Real Christian Atheist, I believe. Listen to this. He's talking about crazy, right? Here's this guy's tell. Listen to this.
Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. That statistic for, 50% of marriages might not be 100% correct, but you know what is? Every woman who owns a horse will eventually live alone 100% of the time. Fuck whales and horses.
Yeah, fuck whales and horses.
Ooh.
Thank you. Yeah, two chapters in my book. But yeah, what about horse ladies? Like, we've heard the stereotypes of cat ladies. What about horse ladies? Dreadmere, what do you think?
I think they're fine. I don't know. Are they fun?
I mean, they're always hot as shit. But
Yeah, girls who are into horses are, I don't know. It seems like it's probably a lot of work. Like, I don't really want to be with them if they're going to be like horse riding. They want me to go. It's like,
every girl I've known who's been into horses, tall as shit. And they're hot, but like pretty, usually on the verge of crazy, if not already there. What do you think? Like horse people?
I dated a girl for a while who was really
into
horses.
Yeah.
Horse. So, yeah, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. There's something about horses. I don't know if it's a more of a regal thing, where it's like kind of you gotta be. I don't know how to explain.
They're definitely glued to you. They
there you go.
No, but
she would always eat her meal out of a feed bag.
Yeah, you have to feed her. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole
That's funny.
Well, anytime I see a girl like from a distance brushing a horse, I look at her and I look very closely because it looks like she's talking to the horse too, and I'm not sure, but it looks like her lips are moving, and I'm like a little bit afraid. This is
What else is she supposed to do though?
Horses. It's not like a cheap.
No.
Thing hobby to
Yeah.
do. Like it's an extremely expensive hobby.
yeah.
So if you ever live with someone who wants a horse, it's just basically like you're gonna be spending a lot of money on this thing.
You'd be
you
home
get
a
to,
lot.
like, ride once a week, which also is weird. Like my hobby is riding an animal
Yeah.
on Saturdays.
What
I don't know. Mine's like playing pinball. Like
Yeah.
it's just.
what path in life? What journey did you take to get you at this point where you now have this big beast that you're brushing?
Yeah.
Gross.
Something about that freaks me out. I don't know what it is.
And they know that cat shit, right, can cause like crazy shit in pregnant ladies, especially, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you heard about that?
Whatever it's called.
Toxemia, something like that.
Something like that.
Can't all shit cause some stuff?
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like horse shit is some of the worst.
Really?
You don't want it smells so bad. There's got to be some shit you're sniffing, you're snorting in there. It's not good for you. I hate it. I hate horse shit. Anyway, so Dreadmere, we got a voicemail for you actually from the Bad Hombre. Listen to this.
Bad hombre.
Hey, what's up, cabrones? Hey, you keep having this Dreadmere guy on, man. That guy's the best motherfucker I've heard in a while. I need to introduce this guy to my church youth group, man, because those motherfuckers need to chill. This guy knows what's all about, man. I just want to go on and say this guy sounds like every Mexican parent's wet dream, man. Fucking Mexican kid, no accent, on radio and shit. Fuck, man. What's up?
That's great.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah, high praise from from the Bad Hombre.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't realize I was making so many waves in the Mexican community.
Oh yeah,
You should email that back to your family and be like, yeah, Los Angeles is going just fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, it's
fucking
not in
Mexican.
Spanish, so though.
Yeah, I'm fucking Mexican on the radio and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no accent. No accent.
Mexican on the radio and shit. Oh my god.
Made it.
Trump's America.
great.
Thanks, Holmes.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So when Rucka was on the show, we had the Rucka Science Corner because he would, and it was kind of a facetious title because he would often misspeak about scientific facts. And I guess this caller is calling in to suggest that we have a Maddox History Corner because I guess I misspoke about history. Listen to this.
So now that Rucka's gone from the show, I think that we need to have Maddox's History Corner. Last week you said that it was the Federalists and the Whigs. It was the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans, you Hamiltonian fuck.
Oh.
Fucking Nazi.
Yeah, fucking Nazi to you too, but excuse me all to hell. Oh, sorry, I got the political party of something that ended a century ago wrong. Oh.
You got that wrong too, what you just said.
Was it not a century? Well, it's a century, right?
I mean, I'm talking to my ass, but
Just add fuel to the fire.
The Ron Babcock History Corner, more like it. Well, speaking of corrections, listen to this guy calling in. So last week I talked about those MLG videos. Those I don't know if you're familiar. You're familiar. Dreadmere's nodding. He knows what I'm talking
What's
about.
that?
Major League Gaming.
It's like it's like this big, and they had like all those meme videos, right? Where it's like 420, smoke weed every day, Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Correct. Yes.
Hell yeah.
So I talked about those type of videos, and I called them MLG, you know, whatever gamer videos, those meme videos. This guy called in to correct me.
Oh my God, Maddox, why do you do this to me? You fucking Illuminati's a meme. It's a meme, guys. Jesus Christ, dude, you sound like a fucking normie. Oh God. Then also, Maddox, like I'm doing this for your benefit, but it's not called MLG videos. They're called montage parodies. So check yourself, you fucking normie trash.
Okay. Wow. Oh, great.
Douchebag
of the week. This guy called in to correct me because I misspoke. I mischaracterized a stupid fucking meme video because I said that there was, you know, they always have like Illuminati imagery in these fucking meme videos. And by the way, guys, this is what he's talking about. All right, I'm gonna play a little clip of one of these videos.
Okay.
Now keep this in mind because this is what this guy called in to make a correction about.
Yeah, that old classic.
So imagine having a type of life where you call into a podcast to make a correction about mischaracterizing that video.
Yeah.
Now imagine being that guy who just did that.
because that guy probably edited that video. And there's a lot going on in there: machine guns, a woman screaming, air horns.
That was actually
There's like
that was a boy screaming.
it's like 7 tracks of audio there that you're mixing together. It takes time.
Pedantic fucking losers calling in to make corrections about they're called what did he call it montage parody videos.
I couldn't quite hear what he was saying.
Yeah. And by the way, shithead. So I went to YouTube and I looked up montage parody video. The first link isn't even one of these MLG videos. It's some other horse shit. Jackass.
We all know how you feel about horse shit.
Well, speaking of horse shit, here's Hitler calling in.
God.
Oh, good.
He has so last week Hitler called in and our guest Mike D made fun of his voice. So listen to this.
Hello, this is Adolf Hitler again. Mike D says I sound like a woman. Well, fuck you. Does this have voice you'd like? Enough sperm in it for you? Why don't you go choke on a sausage, you big pansy?
Sounds like a gay haircut.
Yeah, I don't think having sperm in your voice makes you manly. Do I have enough cum in my throat?
Oh, God.
Am I a man now?
Am I man enough for you, Dad?
Oh, God.
Who's kicked off the football team now, Dad?
Here's a call from another one from the Bad Hombre. Listen to this, because the last thing Rucka said at the tail end of the episode. Now, if you guys don't listen to this show beyond the credit music, you're missing out on a lot of great voicemail. The very tail end, the last thing Rucka said was he was going to give out a free T-shirt. One of his longtime bits. Well, this guy's calling in about that. Well, it's Bad Hombre. Bad Hombre calling in about this. Listen to this.
Hey, what's up, cabrones? Say, man, I hear you haven't sent that Australian guy his T-shirt yet, so I got a deal for you. Say you send me his address, and I'll buy a shirt off for your store and mail it out to him in Australia and see if it gets there before you send any fucking T-shirt out. Huh? How about that deal, motherfucker?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's like the most helpful burn of all time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll buy it, I'll send it.
Yeah.
There, I showed you.
Yeah, there you go, mother.
What, you're not gonna let him buy a shirt?
I mean, yeah, he can buy a shirt.
And then after that, he's gonna send it to Australia.
I guess so. You know what? That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
What? I don't see what the losing part of this is for you.
He just doesn't want to be beaten out by the fact he's never going to send the shirt. That guy in Australia is never getting his shirt.
He's getting his shirt.
Unless the Mexican community stands up.
The Mexican community. You and Bad Hombre.
Right.
Well, here's another call. Speaking of the Mexican community, here's another call for Dreadmere.
Oh,
God.
Dreadmere, I hope that you find somebody that likes you enough to hang around with you until you reach your goals, that likes you enough to do that, and doesn't mind the wait, because if you find that person now, that person will probably be with you forever. But if you find someone after you become famous, they're just gonna want you for the money, and that's gonna suck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. I was expecting it to take a turn at some point. And
No,
be
it
like,
was
Right? No, it was like
Straight up
genuine.
poetic and genuine and
Yeah.
authentic.
Very genuine.
Okay,
and
cool.
kind of,
Okay, whatever. Thanks.
kind of a sad reality, sad
Yeah.
fact of life.
See, I steer clear of all that by never becoming famous.
Never become famous. or
That's why I
successful.
want to make sure I'm always
Right.
meeting the right people,
Yeah.
you know?
The girls love you for you.
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows there's nothing else. Well, here's one more call. So a couple episodes back, Rucka talked about his friend who saved someone's life in a grocery store. And,
right.
And only getting a $300 reward, which many of us thought was like, yeah, it was fine. He got a $300 reward plus a banquet. And Rucka was...
A banquet?
Yeah, a banquet. Does that sound nice?
Like a straight up feast.
A feast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still a little weird. $300, like
$300. Well,
Bring
Well,
us
how
this
much
debate
money was
again.
burned on the feast? Because I would be like, I'll just take the banquet money. I don't need a banquet.
yeah.
Well, it's weird to give cash for someone saving your life.
Right.
Like, it's like I could give someone $20 or I could give them a $20 gift card somewhere and they could. It's just like.
What would make it more appropriate? Would like a $500 Amazon card or
Not even the money. It's just the fact that it's not money. It's just better.
Oh, I see what
Kind
you're
of
saying.
awkward if you just hand someone cash.
It's not
like,
cash.
thanks for the hand
No,
job.
give me cash. Give me cash.
I
I'll
don't
take
know
it.
if it was like, hey, do you want $300 in cash or a lifetime supply of Doritos?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'll take the Doritos.
You'll take the Doritos over
Oh,
cash?
hell yeah. I'll spend more than $300
Really?
on Doritos in the course of my life.
Way. I mean, I might sell them. If I could sell them, yeah, I'd be a businessman. So,
Just,
I think we're
how are you going to sell Doritos?
I
Just
think
out of your
eBay.
trunk of your car, try around. You guys want to buy my Doritos? What type of weird hobo business plan do you have in your head right now?
there goes my hero.
this
There's
is this is a mischaracterization of Rucka's point, I think.
Oh yeah, well, here's a call. Here's a caller calling in about that. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, Ryan here. Long time no call in. I'm just catching up with old episodes. About your debate about the guy who only gave $300 for having his life saved in the middle of a grocery store. You know what I would do? I would have put the lifesaver in my will. So when they die, or I die, they get money if they survive longer than me.
Oh,
That sounds like a fair deal, don't you say? I'm sad to hear that Rucka's leaving the show. Fuck you, Rucka. You're going to fail. Bye.
That was the best one yet.
No one did that. It was like he's like the first one.
But yeah, that's actually not a bad suggestion. Put him in the will. There you go.
Yeah.
I
It's
gotta
like-
listen
I like
to that
it.
episode. This sounds like
Oh,
that
it's
sounds like
like
a good
5
one.
episodes. They keep talking about
Oh yeah,
it.
we keep talking about
You
it.
talked about it on our show.
The
Yeah,
knee-jerk reaction you had with getting $300 for saving someone's life, my knee-jerk reaction was like, oh, that is kind of weird.
It's good. It's fine. It's better than nothing. I'll take it.
It's weird because
It seems for such a personal act of saving someone's life, the idea of giving money to them seems weirdly impersonal.
Yeah.
But then they did the whole banquet. So it's like,
What about
That's-
this? What about a hand job? Wouldn't you take a hand job?
It depends on the hand.
Okay,
How
let's
hot
say it's a
and
hot
crazy
babe.
is the person they just saved?
yeah, exactly how crazy.
She's like a 10 and a 10. All right.
Oh,
so
I could get
she's
more
the
than a hand
hottest-
job.
More than
If she's a 10 on crazy, oh yeah.
I'm just saying, if it's an impersonal hand job, wouldn't you take it?
I don't know. I want her to be into the hand. I don't want to get the hand job where it's like,
But it's a
here,
gift.
you did it. You saved my life. Here's
But
your
it's a-
hand job.
it's
Like,
a
I want her
gift.
to be like, this is a fun hand job. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, you're asking a lot of somebody.
I saved her life.
That's a lot to be into you.
We've already talked about your qualifications.
Oh, never mind. Just let me drown. It's fine.
What happened in the grocery store?
He just like gave some guy like keeled over. And
One
he
of
gave him
Rucka's
CPR.
friends was working in the grocery store. This old guy started choking, and then he ran and without saying anything, he just like went and saved him. And then that guy happened to be like kind of wealthy, and he was like, "Oh," and he threw a banquet for him, and then he gave him $300. And then Rucka's gripe with it was, "Well, that's just kind of weird. Like the banquet's cool and everything, just the $300 is kind of a weird number to land
It is a
on."
weird number.
Yeah, that was it. That's the whole thing. And you know, here we are, like
And I
6
pointed
months
out-
later.
And I pointed out that 300 Spartans took down the Persian Empire. So
I don't think they.
Maddox.
History corner.
Yeah, history corner.
Yeah, there we go.
History corner.
So what's the $300 going to take down? Like what? A third of his rent?
It's almost a full PlayStation 4.
Just when somebody throws a banquet, sometimes it's about them
It's always
rather than
about
the
them.
person you're throwing it for. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's cool. I throw banquets all the fucking time.
Yeah, you call dinner banquets. Party of one.
All All right, guys. Well, that's it for voicemail. I've got some quick news headlines from around the web. This is a story from KATV.com. By the way, thank you to Stan the Man, Stan Morris. I've been doing this live news show every Friday night on YouTube. Now, I did the last few on Twitch, but tune in. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, social, whatever. I'll post a link to when I'm doing the news show. But it's Friday nights around 6:30, 7:30 Pacific time. That's like 9:30, 10:30 Eastern. But check that out. Stan's been helping me out with those, and he's been we always have way more headlines than we have time to cover, but I got a few of them now. This one's from KATV.com. A proposed bill would fine parents $500 if their child is bullying others. Oh, it's $500 not enough?
That is a weird number to pick.
And they have to throw the child who was bullied a banquet.
Right.
They throw him to the lions. State Representative Frank Burns is proposing a bill that would hold parents accountable if their child is found to be bullying other children. Under the bill, parents of the bully would face a fine of up to $500. Up to.
Wow.
So it might be $300. Oh, in which case it's nothing. People just give it away. No banquet. When it's not addressed, bullying can escalate quickly from taunts and hurtful online posts to physical assaults and, in worst cases, suicide, says Burns. Burns continued saying holding students, parents, and officials at all levels accountable is the only way to put an end to this scourge. The representative's proposal has 3 phases. Under the legislation, the first time a child is found to be bullying, the school would be required to inform the bully's parents of the incident and how the school handled the situation. In the second incident, it would be required that the parents to take a class on bullying and to attend a bullying resolution conference, with a third incident resulting in a court citation and a fine of up to $500. Now, Therapist Kelli, I believe you are the only one in this room who has children. What do you think of that idea?
I'm actually, I don't like it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, smart.
Because your kids are bullies, right?
It sounds like someone's going to pay $500.
No, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about my kids, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to pay $500. Well, but I think it's mostly, I don't think it has to do with so much of the parenting. Sometimes I think it's just the temperament of the kid. So why should the parents be punished? I mean, I think that, so there's my thought around it, but.
Well, so this is the third infraction. If the third time...
Oh, the third time. Okay, then that I could see. Yeah.
Because the parents have then notified that their child 2 other times has been engaging in bullying. Okay. By the third time, it's like, well, if the parent's not going to do their job, then we're going to at least take a little bit of money.
So that's, I fail to see how that's going to change anything. Now what? You have less money, so the kid's not going to be able to what? Like, you're still going to bully them, right? You're just taking money. It sounds like parking tickets or anything else that are just kind of extraneous ways to.
I like the idea of making the parents go to a class on bullying. Something I think that could be helpful. But like, how do you I don't know. How do you decide who's getting bullied? You know what I mean?
Like, what constitutes bullying?
Yeah. Like, is it? I don't know. I guess. But I also don't have kids.
Maybe the problem isn't bullying. Maybe it's the culture. Maybe it's not. My point is, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with how much the government or whatever the city should intervene with how you're parenting. Like,
well, how do you solve this problem though?
I don't know. People don't care about shit until you spend money on it.
Right.
That's like that money makes people pay attention to stuff.
As soon as it starts to cost you money, then you start caring about it. Maybe these parents are neglectful. They don't care because they have nothing to gain by intervening and seeing that their children are raised well.
But what if it happens to like the parents to the kids who are bullied? Like, hey, you sack of shit! You better not push anybody around and cost us another $500.
No, that could be true.
You know,
that's a good
and then
point.
that kid gets beaten. And then what? Now you're just getting more kids, more abuse. Then they grow up to be criminals.
It creates a cycle of bullying and a cycle of income. So the first bully gets bullied, and then he stops bullying, but then he gets bullied by another kid at school, and then they get another $500.
I kind of like the idea that they're trying something. I say they pilot program it in like one school, see how it goes for a year or 2 years, report back, see if it worked.
They should have the parents.
I'm all for
bullied.
shit that works.
Yeah.
You know? Like if something works, I don't give a shit where it comes from, what ideology it is, but like you just got to do it and see if it works.
That's exactly what I don't like, is that they're trying something.
Wow, I think we just uncovered the secret bully in the room.
Right.
Infraction number 1.
Yeah. Well, speaking of bullies, this is a story from Yahoo. Afghan baby named Donald Trump proves divisive. This story, the more I read it, the crazier it got. I love it so much. When Asadullah Poya's wife gave birth to their third child in a tiny village in rural Afghanistan, he immediately thought of Donald Trump. Not the Donald Trump, the upstart politician who's president of the country, but Donald Trump, the celebrity businessman. He had just recently read a Dari translation of what appears to be Trump, How to Get Rich, published in 2004 by the then star of The Apprentice, and was transfixed. I thought he is the best at economics and he is great at politics, Poya said. I thought, this is a great man. I like the way he decides he wants something and then he just goes out and gets it. So when his baby came into the world in August of 2016, and then he saw the boy had an unusual shock of blonde hair, he named him Donald Trump, hoping that it would bring him good fortune. It did not. Poya's own parents were furious that he had given their grandchild a non-Muslim name. The imam of the village mosque devoted an entire Friday sermon to the matter, calling the name an insult. It was then that Poya decided to pack up his family and leave his teaching job and the family farm to move to Kabul. It just keeps getting crazier. Poya and his children, Donald Trump, and his older sister Fatima, and brother Kareem, now live in a simple one-story house that they share with their landlord. But Donald Trump isn't liked in the capital either. Others have accused Poya of naming his son Donald Trump in order to improve his chances of gaining asylum in the United States. On the campaign trail, Trump had called for a ban on Muslims entering the U.S., but what about a Muslim refugee named Donald Trump?
My God.
Well, Poya insists he did not want to leave the country and that he never intended his son's name to be in the news. On Thursday afternoon, the chubby 18-month-old boy was running around the house. His father called for the high-energy toddler to stop, but Donald Trump stubbornly ignored him. Then Donald Trump ran over to a computer and started slapping the keys with his tiny hands. "Trump, come here," said Poya. Undeterred by the controversy, his son's famous name has ignited. Poya said that if he has a fourth child and it is a girl, he would like to name her after the President Trump's daughter, though he had to be reminded of her name. Ivanka Trump is unlikely to be any less divisive. So somewhere in Afghanistan, in Kabul, there's a Donald Trump running around.
I love the tiny hands comment.
Yeah.
The tiny hands on the keyboard.
That had to have been the journalist taking
right,
license.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. If you want to name your kid after something successful, just name him like iPad and be done with it.
Yeah. Well, there's that family not too long ago, the Hitlers, right?
Yeah.
The guy like legally changed his name to Adolf Hitler.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of girls that are named Isis.
ISIS? That's right, ISIS.
Yeah.
That's like that's a Mexican one, right?
Yeah.
ISIS?
Or why are you asking me?
Because you're the Mexican parents with
token
dreams.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I do remember that. The first ISIS I came across, and I said, "Excuse me, ISIS. Like, how do you spell that? ISIS? Oops. It's like AIDS. AIDS was a cool thing before the 80s.
You met someone named AIDS?
No, but AIDS was a brand of gum or something.
It was?
Yeah, in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, AIDS was a brand of gum, and then AIDS happened.
It gave you AIDS, so it went out of business.
Yeah, huge bummer.
Yeah,
huge bummer. Well, therapist Kelli, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. And with that,
where can people find you?
You can find me docandtherapistkelly.com. I think that's it.
I'll link to it.
Yeah.
Please
I'll
link to it.
Yes, definitely.
Or you can find kellymillertherapy.com. Thank you so much.
It's fantastic. Super fun show. Check
Thank
it out.
you.
And we had Dr. Deborah on the show as well.
Yes.
I will tell you, you guys bring such a dimension to this show that I feel like we've been missing. It's
some
like
feminine energy.
Well, that too, but also some life wisdom.
Oh.
I feel like we don't fucking have. Dreadmere's giving me a suspicious
Yeah,
look.
you don't think I have feminine energy or life wisdom when I come on the show?
Touche. And Dreadmere, we'll link to all your social as well. And Dreadmere, it sounds like you're gearing up for Vine too. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm planning some sketches. I'm going to put them up early, but like whenever Vine comes up, I have some stuff ready to go for that. And I'll be at the Cory event also speaking in April.
Where's that event?
In Arizona.
Arizona.
Oh,
and what's it
awesome.
called?
Kilroy event.
Kilroy. The Kilroy event.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And Rucka will be there as well.
Yeah, I'll be with
very
you.
cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for
you.
coming on the show. Thank you, therapist Kelli.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dreadmere.
Yeah.
Thank you to the deputy cadet moderator, Ron Babcock.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Sultan of Swag, Mikey Bolts.
Thanks, Maddox.
But most of all, you're welcome.
All right, Rucka, let's walk it through here. What would happen if you dug through to the other side of the earth? So you start digging, you get through the crust, you're in the mantle. All right, you're digging through. Then you're in the outer core and the inner core after that. Now it becomes more condensed. So at some point, and I'm no scientist, so I don't know when, you get fucking crushed is what would happen. You would dig, and you dig, and the gravity be pushing in on you and pushing on you, and it'd be pushing your hair down onto your head like a normal person, and then eventually you just die. The pressure would be too much, and you in that goofy haircut would fucking die. And that's what would happen if you dug through the other side of the earth. You wouldn't make it, you'd die.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just speak for Rucka since he's not here to defend himself. But I think his whole point was that, yes, you will die. Yes, it's impossible. But his curiosity was, where does the gravity shift? If you're going straight down, I'm straight like this, and I go down, at what point am I head up again? Like, is my head might be flipped if I'm going through the earth? Am I going to come out feet first, or am I going to come out? That was his question. But whatever.
Well, and Mike D's not here, so let me speak for Mike D.
Unless you'd be digging with your feet, you'd have to be digging.
Well, I have a shovel. Whatever, a space shovel. It goes right through.
You got like shovel feet?
Yeah,
I like a space shovel. Yeah. Okay, great. Now we've got this isn't even a science corner. It's just like a science room.
Yeah.
Doing
it's a science Pueblo.
Science Pueblo. Right.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.